Freaking out, man. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men power want? More power.
And now, broadcasting live from deep within the borders of occupied liberal territory known as California, Luca Zanna with Love, Guns, and Freedom.
All systems go.
Don't tread on us. We're not afraid. You work for us. We're not your slaves. Don't tread on us.
Here we go, guys. Good morning. Good morning. This is Sunday, another great Sunday live on K-Talks 1340 AM and rebroadcast all over the world on GMN Network, Guerrilla Media Network. And this is Luca Zanna, and I'm the host of the radio show Love, Guns, and Freedom. And today broadcasting exactly is May the 18th, 2014, just for posterity in case somebody finds this audio file. Okay, very important. Today is I think it's a very interesting show because, as I said before many times, the purpose of this show, it is not just to make news or try to entertain or try to pull some gossip out or dramatizing things. No. My goal is very simple. It's a form of activism. It's a form of commitment. It's a form of love, okay? I believe that driving every year down in this radio station that gave me this opportunity for 2 hours to pretty much express my opinions, my point of views, I want to use it the best, okay? And I believe that now, I am part of the independent media. I mean, I'm here. My duty is to report the facts. So I really believe that there is a lot of things can be done in a good way. I have a lot of good things I can do, and I'm not perfect, as I say. I want to learn from you. At the same time, I want to share what I know with you. So today, for example, first of all, I would like to talk a little bit about this operation that I called Airing Your Dirty Laundry on the Air. And what is about? First of all, this is campaigning time. It's election time, especially here in LD5, this part of Arizona and all over Arizona. I have a lot of people here, a lot of guests already came. Some they will come. And it's pretty much about running for office, I understand. And as I said, I'm very happy to give this opportunity to everybody who wants to come here to express their political opinions and also their agendas and their different type of policy that they would implement in case they get elected. So this is pretty much the purpose of the show, is to really educate each other on our local, state, and federal elected public servants or the individual that are running for office. I believe completely that we the voters, if we want to be able to make an accurate decision about who we want to vote for, we should know as much as we can about these potential candidates. I mean, it's a fact. You run for office, this is part of our job. We want to know more about you. And also, as you know already, I'm a registered Republican, and also I'm a precinct committeeman for the GOP. But it's very important. Let's show you today that I really mean what I'm saying. I never pledge allegiance to any party, man or woman, only to America, its constitution, and to the truth. This is especially when I became a naturalized citizen. This was my oath, as a citizen, that I wasn't born here, I wasn't naturalized, I have to pledge an oath, and I really mean it. So I really have no problems to, especially when I have to expose or at least talk about facts that may be some sort of, negative in a way about people coming from my own party. Honestly, I am the one that wants to go deeper on them because they really make my name bad. They give me a bad name, and also they represent the Republican Party in a bad way, so I have no mercy on them. Now, for example, in this show I welcome everybody, Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, Independent. My objective is just to give you guys a free platform where you can share, pretty much whatever you want regarding your political positions. Now, at the same time, I also think I really have the obligation that I must disclose and research as much information I can about you, especially, if you run on some sort of position, on your political position that could be like on high moral stand. You know, I'm sorry, if you go there, you must really perform even higher than the standard. Now, remember last week I had Mr. George Schnittgrund, okay? It's a guy, he is running for the GOP as Arizona State House Representative in District 5. You know, we had a nice conversation, a lot of things we agree, some other things we don't agree. That's not the problem. The problem is that, unfortunately, I found out a lot of information that I need to share, okay? And it's more than just a DUI. So I would like to pretty much just give you right now two things. First of all, when you come here on the show, if you're a political candidate, I just demand only two things: to be honest, okay, and not to be hypocritical. Because, you know, we all make mistakes. I'm not here to try to judge you. I mean, there is already a judicial system that is going to give you the chance to be, you know, pretty much adjudicated, and you can move on with your life. But you must be honest. When you run for office, I don't think you should keep any secret. And I'm pretty disappointed with Mr. George Schnittgrund because he came here, I gave him a chance also to talk about what is the weakest point. He never mentioned a DUI that he had a few years ago in Lake Havasu. And that's okay. That's, as I said, there are mistakes can be done, and nobody's perfect, we move on. But when somebody like him is running, for example, on this position of morality that pretty much tell us that it's dangerous for us, for anybody who wants to have a plant like marijuana in his own house, or he wants to smoke something that is no alcohol, and because we are dangerous, and he has the power to decide what is good for you and what is not dangerous for you. I mean, no, I'm sorry. You should be, you know, having a DUI is kind of an hypocrisy in my opinion, especially when you do not disclose it. Because, you know, you go out and tell us what is dangerous for us. Meanwhile, you are a danger. You are driving around intoxicated, and that's bad enough. But as I said, that's not even the worst part. There is more, and we will go through very much in details next Sunday, because I will have on the air the police officer, Sgt Jerry Burns from Havasu. That is the police officer who arrested Mr. George Schnittgrund for DUI. But not only that, there was also more than that. There are police records, and I will release them this week, that shows that George Schnittgrund also was caught half a dozen times at least driving around the police officer's home, taking photos of the house, and I think also the family, because he lived there, for some sort of, I don't know, try almost to catch him in doing something wrong. That's what I want to know. But the point is, wasn't just that, it was on the records, you know, he was pulled over by the police many times, I think. But more important, there is also an injunction that the real term I don't have in front of me is some sort of a restraining order. Even it is not technically a restraining order, but it was an injunction that it was pretty much Mr. George Schnittgrund was not allowed anymore to drive around the house of this policeman. I mean, how would you feel if you are a policeman and you arrest somebody and then you see this person driving around your house a few times, taking photo of you or your family? And I also have here another disclosure that I would like to, of course, have this. I should have the records of the police records and the court records this week. He was driving around with, guns in the back of your car, like a shotgun. I have no problem with driving with a shotgun in the back of my car. I may drive even with more than that. The problem is I would never drive with the shotgun in the back of my car, especially when I'm going around a peace officer home that, not even by accident, just like with an intent to do photographing, or I don't know what type of goal or purpose he had. Of course, I will give the chance to George Schnittgrund next Sunday to be here or to call in, because at least facts against facts. I will bring the court records here. I will bring the police report. I will bring, of course, also Sgt Burns, that is the one that filed this injunction. And so it's very important, because it's not just about the DUI. As I said, it would be bad enough for somebody that telling us that we have not the right to smoke or drink whatever we want, but he can do it, and he can also get a DUI. It's pretty hypocritical there. I think what is worse, that there's some sort of obsessive behavior. Instead of admitting his own fault, he says, I'm sorry, I was an idiot, I was drinking and driving, Mr. George Schnittgrund. No, you go around, and you also go to driving around this policeman family home and taking photos. And on top, as I said, driving around in the type of circumstances with a shotgun or a weapon like that, it doesn't sound that right. You didn't break any law, of course, but the point is, you still think it sounds kind of scary, in my opinion. If you were doing this around my home, I don't know. I tell you, I must be open. I'm all for the Second Amendment, but at the same time, I don't see here why. And this person is running for office, for public office, okay? This is a child behavior, maybe, a teenager's behavior, somebody that is insecure and need to have some sort almost revenge in his mind, but some sort of a public person running for public office representing me in Phoenix, no, I don't like that. And as I said, I do not endorse anybody, but at the same time, I have the duty here to report the facts. And then I can also comment on that, of course. So this is pretty much what's going to happen next week. Today, by the way, I may have a representative, Arizona House Representative Sonny Borrelli, calling in because, of course, meanwhile, he was brought up his voting records by George Schnittgrund last Sunday. So I want to give the chance to Sonny Borrelli to at least rebuke. He's been called a center leftist or something like that. So that's pretty much the story. But there is more. There is much more about this story with George Schnittgrund. Way that you got my file report. All I will do is just copy and paste, of course, the facts, okay? And you will see, of course, police records, court records, and everything else. And, of course, and then you have a chance to read more about what's going on. Now, let's go back with the show. We're going to have pretty soon on the air today 2 great guys, at least one of them. You remember I had a few months ago, 2 veterans, 2 Army veterans, Tom Voss and Anthony Anderson. They're 2 U.S. combat veterans. They pretty much did something very incredible, in my opinion. They track from Wisconsin all the way from Wisconsin to California. It's like, I don't know how many thousands of miles. But anyway, it was a huge trip. Took a few months. They also stopped here, was the last step before heading to the Mojave Desert, going to Santa Monica. They stopped here at the radio. I had them with me, also having dinner together. And they also now, the purpose of this amazing journey was to raise awareness about returning veterans with post-traumatic stress, and also people that, they serve and they feel now some sort of estranged by society, and also homeless. I mean, that's what they do. They help the veterans in this way, and they try to raise also some money. Now, right now, also, they have this project. They also have the chance, the opportunity to be part of this documentary that I think is very interesting. It's called Almost Sunrise. And so one of them, I don't know, I think it's Anthony or Tom, they're going to call in, and we're going to have them on the air, and they're going to tell us a little bit about the updates. Then second hour, just to let you know, guys, we have something very exciting. I'm very happy. It's a guy that I know very well. He's also, I call him a friend because, even I don't share time with him, but, there are a lot of things I agree. A lot of things I may disagree, but I'll always be respectful. Is Mr. Stephen Robinson. Is from the Golden Valley Fire Department board member. He's also, he called himself, fellow citizen activist at Mojave County Citizen for Honest, Responsible Government. And he's also the budget committee chair of the Fire Department of Golden Valley. So, as I said, this is the purpose of the show. We don't need to agree, but we always try to be respectful, and I would like to really to build something. That's my goal. I mean, I don't want to here come destroy. I want just to bring facts, and if it's possible, I would like to try to reach some sort of a common ground that we have, that we are here even for limited time on this planet. We are here and we are not body slaves, okay? That's number one. We are individuals. We have rights. And government, it is not our master. That's the bottom line. I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, or whatever. At the end of the day, we're supposed to have a Bill of Rights. And, of course, there may be differences in economics, okay? But the point is, I would like to start to look at that. I don't think your rights start when they start to infringe on my own rights. Like people say, okay, we agree to disagree. That's all great. I'm with you there. We don't need, for example, to agree to eat the same type of bread, or maybe we don't need to have, let's see, somebody's calling. Let's see. Okay, 1 second. Okay, caller, are you on the air? Who are you?
This is Anthony, Luca.
Anthony, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning, man. I'm great. How are you?
Very good. So we have Anthony Anderson. Where are you calling from? Wisconsin, Anthony?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So say hi to Tom. Is he around today?
He's down in Chicago today.
Oh, Chicago. Perfect. So listen, Anthony, let's go back in exactly where we left you, okay? Why don't you give in a few seconds, a little bit of a summary, exactly what was your experience, how started it, the whole journey. In very few seconds, you and Tom together, what did you accomplish lately?
Sure. well, after we left you, we went across Mojave. We finished the walk. We were able to raise $105,000, and our goal was $100,000.
Wow.
And lately, we've been working at trying to get Veterans Trek as its own nonprofit, so we can take other veterans out on these treks. And of course, we have the documentary in production right now.
Wow, that's very good. And let me tell you something. First of all, before we go into the documentary, I think it's very exciting, and I saw that. And by the way, I saw there is also a couple of photo shots that when you are in the studio, it's pretty nice. Thank you. I would like to ask you this one, first of all. The last stretch you had from Needles all the way to Santa Monica, you had a big chunk of desert. How many days did you exactly, how many days did you take to walk all the way to Santa Monica? And if there's anything interesting that you went through when you were, trekking all the way through the Mojave Desert?
I don't remember exactly how many days we were out in the desert. Probably about a week.
Okay.
And then interesting things that happened. I mean, we had a supporter of ours come find us out in the middle of Mojave Desert and bring us dinner.
Oh.
And he set up tables and stuff and brought us a chicken dinner, which was pretty interesting. That actually happened on my daughter's birthday.
Wow, it was a policeman or somebody like that, I think?
He was in, I think he was in the ATF.
ATF, wow, it must be a good ATF. Normally, never heard, sorry. That's nice to hear that. I'm glad. Hey, not everybody's bad,
He and his family, then they let us stay by them for several days, and they took really good care of us, fed us well, did everything they could to help us, and they were a great family for us.
I'm very glad. This is nice, because as I said, there's a lot of, sometimes, we tend to generalize, and sometimes, unfortunately, it's true, but there is good people everywhere, and we need to try to really find each other, because, at the end of the day, we need each other in this fight for freedom, for our struggles, for our rights. So pretty much it was...
Without a doubt.
It was pretty much a smooth experience. I mean, was it cold at night? Where did you sleep? In the house of this guy?
No. In the desert, it was actually really nice. During the daytime, it would only get maybe like mid to upper 70s, and at nighttime, maybe mid 30s, low 40s.
Wow.
And stars out in the desert are beautiful.
Did you take some video, I'm sure, right? Or some photos of this?
Yeah, we've got video from out there. We took pictures. I mean, we would just sleep like in fields or off of Route 66.
Wow.
It was nice.
Very exciting. And question, any snakes, coyotes, or any type of wildlife encounters?
No, I don't think we had anything like that, which was a relief to me because I hate snakes.
I know, me too. Let's see, somebody's calling. I'm just, 1 second, Holly, okay? Stay there, please.
Sure, of course.
Okay, caller, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Who is calling?
I'm from Lake Havasu City.
Yes.
And I heard you talking about George Schnittgrund's record. Did you know that Sonny Borrelli also had a record?
I'm sure he has. And by the way, I'm going to have him and we will talk about everybody records, okay? Just to let you know.
But just let me give you some information because I'm on the road and I don't know if I'm going to be able to call in.
Yes.
But he's got domestic violence in 2001, May 2001.
Before we go ahead, it's going to be caller. 1 second, Holly. Before we go ahead, I would like to do that because I'm bringing the records directly from the police department. And by the way, if it was, I don't want to just go through things that they were like charges. I want to... No, let me tell you this. 1 second. Before you go on the radio and you bring things, I want to verify everything. And I'm doing a job 101. There is no any type of special true colors like Mr. Schnittgrund has been saying. I went through his records. I went through his arrest.
I know.
Now I'm... 1 second. Let me finish, please. Before we bring somebody else, I have the duty to go and verify because you cannot just call in and give this information out before I verify. And trust me, I will have Sonny Borrelli here, and in front of me I will have every type of records. And after I have the records and I can verify it, I will divulge this information. So meanwhile, I appreciate it. Please,
Lou, just one thing.
Yes,
I've got the records in front of me. Let me give you the court number records.
Go ahead.
Okay, the court number record is MCR.
Okay.
2001-00354, and the date of the records is May 2001, and it cost me $10 just to get the record, have them mail me the record.
Good job, and if you don't mind, I will give you also the $10 back. Can you mail it to me?
I made copies of this. Absolutely, I can mail
I
you
appreciate
everything
it because I tell you, as I said, this is not anything about George Schnittgrund. It's about the truth and the facts, okay?
Oh, absolutely, and that's why I'm telling you. They both have records.
Yeah.
And there was another person that was running last time that also had a record. So
Perfect.
all three people that were running had
What is your name? What is your name?
is it really necessary?
No. You want me to call you Lady? I mean, you just give me a name I want to use when I talk to you. Give me a name.
Okay, if you're going to call me, great. My number is area code 928.
No. I don't want your phone number on the air. I want just your first name.
Okay, Lisa.
Lisa, perfect. If you do me a favor, I give you my address, okay? You can send me an email through my zanna@zanna.us, or you go to the website, lovegunsfreedom.com, or find me on Facebook, and I will give you my address and send me the information. And by the way, what I'm trying to do in this show, it is not just talking about the records. It is talking about especially how people, because nobody's perfect. I'm not here to judge, okay? All I want to do is give information to the listeners and to the voters, and they can understand if the persons that we have in front of us, they are mature enough that they move on, they learn from their mistakes, and they move on. At the end of the day, I'm not judging anybody. I want the listeners and the voters to have more information so they can understand what's going on. So I appreciate that. Send me an email. I will send you my address, and I will love to have every information you have.
You want to give me your email address again?
Yes, please. And anybody else is listening, please do the same, okay? If you have any information, I'm here for everybody. Zanna, like my last name, Zanna.
Zanna, Z like zebra.
Z like zebra, ANNA. At, little symbol, at. Zanna, again, ZANNA. .us, okay? Zanna@zanna.us. It's my email. Everybody's welcome to send me any information because I will ask directly to every politician from now on coming to the show. I will ask him this question to somehow share with us every information we should know about convictions, not charges. Charges, for me, you're still innocent until proven guilt.
This is a conviction.
Perfect. And that's we need to know convictions, and we want to know with peace and without being trying to judge it. And I don't want to do anything like dramas. I would like just to have more information about the people we're supposed to vote for. That's it. Okay, darling? Thank you. Thank you for the call. Bye. Okay. Anthony, you still there?
Yep.
Sorry, a little distraction, but today was a kind of interesting show. So let's go back to our documentary, your documentary. First of all, the name of the documentary, remind to the people, please.
The name of what?
The documentary.
Oh, the documentary. Almost Sunrise.
Okay, who is the director, producer? I know I met him, but just...
Michael Collins.
Perfect. He's from New York, I guess, right?
Yep.
How did you find each other? I mean, how did it happen that you found you or you found them? I mean, how did it work?
Sure. When Tom and I originally decided to go on the walk, we were going to try to make our own documentary. So we had cameras with us and stuff like that. And one day, Michael, I had actually met Michael one time before. I did a study at UW-Madison where they were studying combat vets. And part of the study was this meditation course. And the people that taught meditation asked Michael to come interview people that had done that. So we had met, and he stumbled across our website and got in touch with me and said, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I'm really interested in what you guys are about to do, and I'm thinking about making, my next film about it. So he and his producer, Marty, they came out to Milwaukee, and they met with Tom and I for 8 days. They talked to our families, they followed us around, and after 8 days, they said, you're giving us the access that we need. We feel very comfortable with you. Do you feel comfortable with us? And everyone was in agreement. So they said, okay, we'll make this our next film. And they came back, I think, about 2 weeks later and spent the last week we were home with us, and then, a lot during the trip.
I remember. It was a nice...
And then even after the trip.
Wow, that's very nice. I'm glad. Sometimes things happen for a reason, and you can see sometimes, we don't see the bigger plan, but it's all in front of us, and that was very nice. So I think it was...
Oh, without a doubt.
Just not...
The thing that I'm most happy about in working with them
yes.
is they spent a lot of time with our families when Tom and I were gone. They'd come to Wisconsin and they'd interview them and stuff, and they were always so respectful of our family.
And
the
I
questions
see...
that they would ask, the
yes.
time that they took of them, like they recognized, yes, we're trying to do our job and make a film, but at the same time, they were they were just great to work with in
yes.
every aspect.
And also I see a lot of, it's a bigger investment too in time, in money, because, I see this crew and Michael, driving around with you, flying around. I mean, it's a lot of risk. After all, it's not like he's doing a documentary about movie or, actors or things like that. It's a project that can be interesting, but it's also a big investment and risk. So I want to really give him a lot of respect to believing in you and what you've been doing, because I tell you, times is money, and money, of course, now, especially with just transportation, just flying around and going around, it probably is a lot of money.
Sure.
Speaking about money.
I mean, I think another thing that's really interesting about them is
Yes.
their interest in this film is not to make, an anti-U.S. or anti-war or anti-politician or anything like that, anti-military. They're interested in bringing the story of not only Tom and I, but how our story is so indicative of kind of the veteran condition at this moment.
Yes.
And so they're interested in talking about, starting a social conversation about what are we doing and how can we better support these people and what are the real issues that are impacting them, because once the war ends, people kind of forget about you.
Exactly.
So there's a lot that happens after you come home, and that's what they want to tell, so they can kind of bring that to the masses.
Yes, and did you hear the latest news? I mean, there's a lot of, unfortunately, bad things coming out of the VA and the people resigning and people dying. I mean, it's a continuous drama. I mean, I tell you, and more now, by the way, did you hear the latest records about military preparing to, and even the police, unfortunately, being trained to prepare for returning veterans? I mean, this is every day is coming out some other pieces of evidence. Now they fear returning veterans. Why you think that?
Well, okay, I'll start with the VA portion.
Yes.
I think the VA is a great institution in what they are here for, why they exist. I know that they argue a lot, that they're underfunded, that they're having these issues, whatever. I look at it like this. The Secretary of the VA is a cabinet-level position. He can get an audience with the President by requesting it. It's not like me where I got to go through 5,000 layers of bureaucracy. He works with the guy. They sit at the same table.
Yeah.
The problems that the VA is having, they're so widespread, and they say, well, no, it's at the middle management level. Well, middle management is managed by upper management. And if upper management can't handle middle management, you just see more and more how ineffective it is. They have a lot of great stuff medically, right? Like, if a veteran has cancer, they can't rely on their peer to cure them. They need good hospitals. They need good doctors. The care practitioners at the VA, the counselor, the doctor, the nurse practitioner, I think that they're fantastic, and I think that they want the same thing for you that you want for yourself, to be happy, to be healthy. But it's that upper-level bureaucracy. It is crushing it, crushing it. And veterans see it, and a lot of them just refuse to go. They don't trust it. They've had a bad experience, either in the military, or maybe they're fearful of reprisal if they seek out help from the VA, either from, if they're still in, or from their peers or their family or their community. And I think the VA is just overwhelmed because when we create a package for war, we don't ever budget for the aftercare. At least that's not something that's stated with the public.
Yes.
And so I just don't think that they were prepared for two, extended wars and the amount of veterans that would require care after. Now, the stuff with the police preparing and being wary of veterans, I think that that's just ridiculous. I see that, back in, I think, was it like 2009 or 2010?
Yes.
When Janet Napolitano said returning veterans are up there on the list for domestic terrorist candidates.
Yes.
It's this fear narrative that they keep weaving about vets, that every time there's something that happens with a veteran, if it's negative, it gets in the press. And you see that a lot. We've had that here in Milwaukee a couple years back. There was a shooting at the Sikh temple, and that was perpetrated by a guy who used to be in the military, and they just hammered that this guy had been in the military. Well, the police that intervened, one of those guys was a Marine, and they minimized that. So it's just this kind of fear narrative that they push. I think that it becomes prevalent.
Why you think, there is a purpose for everything, trust me. They don't just push these fears because they have nothing better to do. Why do you think they try to instrumentalize and trying to create this fear into the military? I know there must be some reason. I can give you after my own opinion. What do you think?
Well, I think that there's a lot of reasons, but one reason I think is that we have stood up and we have borne a large burden for our country. We go overseas and we see how things operate outside of kind of the veil of being at home.
Mm-hmm.
When we come back, we have true love for our country because we went and defended it. We went and did these things, in its name. They know that when they're doing things that are against the law, when they're doing things that aren't in the best interest of the people, it's a veteran that's going to speak out about it.
Yes.
So it's easy to kind of attack the messenger instead of the message and just discredit veterans overall by saying you have to be afraid of them because they all have PTSD, and if they have PTSD, they're going to go crazy, and all these different things. So I think it's just a step in marginalizing who we are and the things that we did and kind of solidifying a place of power when so many vets come back and they say, look, I've done this. This is what's really happening over there. They don't want that narrative being told.
I agree. That's pretty much what I believe too, because first of all, they know that you know more than the average American may know. You were there. You know the truth. You see things the way they are, not the way CNN or Fox News or MSNBC has been propagandizing us to us, And more important, they know that you are committed people. You already took an oath to defend this republic, and you were ready to die, even if, of course, there were some sort of lies that were told to you, but your commitment was true. Your courage is true. So you're already ready to have the type of American that we really need now, in my opinion, here in America, in our city council, in our county supervisor meeting, in front of our congressman office. We want to hear. And now that you're coming back with knowledge. Some of you, of course, come back also with diseases and problems that you occur to have during this, this perilous time that you went through. And of course, they treat you like, unfortunately, less than many. I mean, we spend more money now giving it to, to Ukraine, billions of dollars, while we could use this money for you guys. We could use this money for the VA. I mean, this is insane, okay? So there is a lot of course, I think also justify anger in a way that disappointment many of you may have. You know the truth, and on top you know exactly what you call a bunch of kids that normally sipping latte at Starbucks and just being afraid to raise a rock. I mean, you're already there, you saw bullets flying, and if you see that this country is going towards hell and tyranny, regardless which party, I think you're ready to completely uphold your oath that you already took is not for expiration to defend this republic against all enemies, foreign and domestic. So yeah, if I was some sort of government that I had something to hide, I'm doing something wrong to the American people, I would be very afraid of you guys. And that's what I really believe what's happening right now. Now, let's talk about this documentary, because I really like it, by the way. I think it's a great production. I like the quality also of the, I'm into also details, technical details. I think it's a good audio, good video, and I think the story is great. Almost Sunrise, a documentary in production featuring you and Tom Voss and, of course, by Michael Collins. How much support do you need exactly in money? There is a pledge here of $70,000, I guess?
Yes, the production crew, they're looking for an additional $70,000 to finish their post-production work. They have hundreds and hundreds of hours of documentary film that they have to go through and code and edit and promote and do all these different things to bring the message of the film to the public in a timely manner. I think that the whole message of the film is that when we come back, and you kind of forget that we did these things and we have these issues, how prevalent they are in the veteran community and how pervasive they are in our lives, how they just find ways to not only affect us, but our families and then our communities by extension. The money that they're trying to raise is going to find a way for them to expedite getting the film done, getting the message out there while it's still timely. At the end of this year, when the Afghanistan war ends and all these soldiers come back, we're going to see another cycle of the same stuff, the same things at the VA, the same things in the news about how veterans are struggling, trying to reintegrate themselves in a healthy manner back into society. And it's a great message that the film has, that we want to bring the non-veteran community and the veteran community together.
Yes.
Veterans need to talk to non-veterans so they can understand their point of view, so they can kind of see, oh yeah, that's kind of how society, works. This is how I reintegrate. This is how I get back into normal day-to-day routines. At the same time, the non-veteran community needs to hear from the veterans. This is what war is. This is how it affects me. This is how it affects my family. This is why veterans at a rate of 22 a day are committing suicide.
I know.
This is why veterans are homeless. This is why we struggle with things like PTSD and have been since the beginning of combat.
Mm-hmm.
And so the message of the film is not a divisive message. It's a call to bring to light the problems that are facing the veteran community, and at the same time a call to action to those who can affect real change, and that is regular, everyday people. You don't have to be a billionaire. You don't have to be the head of a major corporation. If you want to affect some change, you just have to make a commitment to it and do it. And that will be highlighted in the film, and that's why I think that it's such an important film to get out and to have people see, because hopefully something will spark the discussion of what are we doing, not only when we decide to go to war, but what is our charge for the people that have gone in our name when they return. How can we support them?
Yes.
I think that that's a message that transcends political party or religious ideology or anything like that. It just comes down to, this is a human being that has done something in my name. How can I support him or her?
Excellent. Listen,
that is something that I think is a powerful message. And so with Almost Sunrise, when if you want to get more information about it,
yes,
the website, Sunrise Documentary, you can look them up on Facebook. You can get links to the Kickstarter, which has about 3 weeks to go. And in only a week and a half of being in operation, they've raised almost $20,000 of the $70,000. So please do get involved.
Yes, even just $1, guys. I mean, I see here $1 would be just a symbolic moral support and would make a difference. You can get a few thousands. That would be right there. Of course, sometimes people, we forget. We go to the coffee place without mentioning names. These overpriced coffees like $4 or $5. I mean, save a coffee, offer a coffee to one of the guys here. We got, Anthony, or we got Tom. I mean, and just give them a coffee, and that will help the production. More important, the promotion, because the production of the movie is something. You need then this movie to promote it and to spread it out. That's the most expensive part, in my opinion, also, especially the marketing. Let's see, there is somebody on hold. Let's see if he's still there. 1 second, all, yeah? Caller, are you on the air? Okay, they're gone. Maybe somebody wanted to leave a message. Anyway, listen, and another thing also, please, what are you doing right now, guys? I mean, you're back home after this great journey, and you and Tom, how is your life, how is your day? I mean, do you do something? You still volunteer for the project, or you work? What do you do?
Sure. So when we came back, we were incredibly active. There was so much attention that was given to us while we were gone that when we came back, it was really like about a 3-week process to get through all of the media, to answer all the requests for interviews and so on and so forth, because so many people wanted to know why it was that we did what we did.
Mm-hmm.
And when that kind of started to taper off, we really started working on how can we make Veterans Trek available to other vets and their families that need the same sort of help that we did. At the peer level, something that we can do that gets them out of the environment that's kind of maybe feeding some of the issues, and get them out there and give them the opportunity to be with other veterans that understand what it is that they're going through. And at the same time, let's get out, let's walk, let's get some, exercise, let's have some good experiences, and let's make some new memories that can replace some of those prevalent, when I was in Iraq or when I was in Afghanistan memories. I've got a regular full-time job that I go to, during the week. Tom's still really active. We both work, and we're both trying to make Veterans Trek work so we can bring it to other vets.
Very good, very good. And by the way, I would like to say again the name of the project, because this is, of course, today I really wanted to know updates from you guys after the last time we met each other here at the radio, and I'm so glad you made it back in one piece. It was a very long journey. How many miles? Let's remember 1 second, from Wisconsin to California. How many miles did you trek?
I'm trying to think here. We had originally planned for like 2,700 miles, and I think it ended up being something around like 2,300 or 2,400 miles when everything was said and done. We crossed the states of Wisconsin, Iowa, Nebraska, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, and Southern California. We went through agricultural areas like Wisconsin and Iowa and Nebraska, went through mountains, went through desert, went through snow, went through rain, went through hot, went through humidity. We really weathered quite a bit when it comes to, well, I guess the weather. But I think probably the thing that we remember most is not the miles, but the people that we met and the stories that they shared with us. We met hundreds of veterans throughout that trip that shared support, shared their story, sometimes shared their homes with us, their families, their friends, basically their lives for the time that we were with them, whether it was a day or a few days or a little bit longer. And I think that that's the thing that affects Tom and I most and gives us the most drive to really get Veterans Track going and get this movie out, is that all of these people have a story, and all of these people just want to have the opportunity to be understood and understand that they're doing everything they can, but they do need a little bit of understanding with what's happening with them. We've got to get that out, and I think that that's what really drives us, is the people that we meet, not the miles that we walked.
Okay, I want to commit right now, just because, it's something you need to do. It's little, not much, but everybody can do it. Would be great. First of all, pledge $25 or more, and you also get a copy of the DVD. I have to. This is not even an option. So I will do that today. And I really want that to the listeners to know that, first of all, I think it's an incredible project, and I like to see new producers, new directors, young people that they want to at least spread the message. It's not just about making a movie, it's about the message, and I think the message is great. And you guys, honestly did something that the average American, unfortunately, can even sometimes even walk around Walmart. I feel so sorry when I see younger people, not even that old, all these little wheelchair. I mean, you did something that it's really outstanding. I believe that not everybody can do it. And for the purpose, for the message, it wasn't just about walking around to try to, beat any record. It was about the very important message that we just talked about it. Any problem with your feet after you finish this 2,300 miles? I mean, how do you feel with any problem, any type of doctors? I had to see any orthopedic or...
No, we actually, I feel like we got through it still remaining pretty healthy. I mean, there are some days where, like, the arches of my feet are killing me.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we've even gone, we took 4 vets with us, and we went down to New Mexico in March, and we did the Baton Memorial Death March Marathon.
Yes.
So we had to do 26.2 miles carrying 35 pounds.
Gee.
About a month and a half after we got done with our cross-country walk. And that was a really great experience, not only for us, but for them. And we physically were able to hold up. And even now, today, we're just fine.
That's great. That's great. So, again, Almost Sunrise, a documentary in production. You can find, of course, my friend Anthony on the Facebook, right? I mean, it's very simple.
Yep.
All you have to do is Anthony Anderson, correct?
Yep.
And
or they can look up Veterans Track, and that's me and Tom.
Tom Voss, perfect. So listen, guys, I will put also a link on today's show. You go to lovegunsfreedom.com, and there is the page of today's show, the show for the May the 18th, and there is a page with all the information. There is a photo also of Tom and Anthony when they came last time in the show, in the studio, and also I will put a direct link to the Almost Sunrise documentary support page, so everybody have a chance directly to go there. And remember, just even $1 or the price of a coffee, okay? That would really completely makes a difference. And I think the beautiful thing, this is something that one day we will look back, and if we make it to be old, I mean, this is part of what we're trying to do, like you're trying to do, to make a difference, as you said. And I think it's very beautiful. Listen, thank you very much, Anthony. I appreciate it. Call me anytime. If you have any other press release of information, share it with me. I will try to do my best to divulge them to my audience here. Say hi to Tom and to Michael, okay?
I will. Thank you so much, Luca, for your support, not only when we were in California, but for helping us promote this. It was a tremendous thing to meet you, and I look forward to seeing you again someday.
Hey, and maybe one day you come back to Arizona. We have to go shoot together, okay?
Without a doubt.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Take care, Luca.
Bye. Okay, that was beautiful. I tell you, one of the things I like about this show, it's to meeting people. Sometimes people I don't agree, sometimes people that agree, and more important, people that we're all humans. And I try to look at the humanity of my guests. Even when I don't agree, I always know that there is something good in them too, okay? sometimes there are also some scumbags out there, don't get me wrong, okay? But right now I really like so much Tom and Anthony and this project. I was very proud that somehow, thanks to a friend, Charles Black, we got in contact, and they came here at the studio. We had a great experience. Now, sponsor time. Sorry, I need to stop the poetry. We got to go back a little bit on the sponsor. Without them, we couldn't be here. This is not NPR, okay? NPR, what it does, it gets your money out of your pocket thanks to the government pointing a gun over your head. It's called taxes. No, we ask for money in a polite and peaceful way. We do not extort your money like NPR does. So we're here, and we want to I want to personally thank the Colorado River Vapor. He has two locations. One is the 4400 Highway 95, Sweet Sea in Fort Mojave, okay? And the other one is a new location. It's very nice, by the way. I was driving by the other day. It's a 1931 Highway 95, or 95, I guess, yes, in Bullet City. And there was a former tattoo shop, okay? They have a huge selection of juices and professional stuff to help you to get started. This is vapor smoking, okay? It's the different type of smoking. It's amazing because it doesn't have all the harmful and tobacco and the different chemical that you find in tobacco, more important. This is smokeless type of vaporizers. Anyway, so they call also Catch the Wave and Vape. Wow. And this is very nice. So I would like to say thank you, Colorado River Vapor, for your support. Thanks to Tom and his beautiful wife, because without you guys, it would be very hard to be around. So this is about the sponsor. Now, I received the email from the lady that she called, and I appreciate it. Because as I said, I don't have any personal agenda here. I don't have any allegiance to anybody but to the truth. And I'm not trying to be here vengeful. I'm not trying to enjoy, I found that dirt on you. No, honestly, I feel sorry. I wish I didn't have to do that. It is just pure, I think that the duty of the media, that was supposed to be, bring facts, okay? And then you, listener, you have the chance, especially voters, to make your accurate decision. And don't get me wrong. If somebody made a mistake and paid for their mistake, and there is not really any, come on. It's time to analyze that. And I think what is more important, it is not just the mistake, but the way people repent, the way people grow up out of that, and they learn, and they show maturity. That's for me the most important thing. So, as I said, we will talk next Sunday about deeply the records of George Schnittgrund, and I will also talk about, now as I have the information with Representative Sonny Borrelli, and I hope he's going to be here, because I like to hear from you guys. I don't want to just read a police record or a court record. I hope you can comment on that. And as I said, at the end of the day, the listeners, the voters, they will decide what they want to do. This is like, for example, tomorrow you want to be hired by a private business, and the business has the right to ask you information, exactly what you're about, They want to know your background check. Nothing wrong with that. And then, of course, it's up to them. And let's say, for example, I want to hire somebody, a worker or somebody, and I see that there is some little problem in the past, but nothing really traumatic. Everything was taken care. I think I want to give them the opportunity. It's up to me. I decide. At least we have the information to decide. So this is not just about George Schnittgrund. It's not about Representative Sonny Borrelli. It's about everybody running for office. Everybody comes into this office. I will ask me politely, without trying to be, personal, about whatever do they have they can share about convictions. I'm not talking about their personal life. I respect that. I'm not talking about, of course, allegation. I'm talking about voices. I'm talking about facts. Of course, if there is some sort of hypocritical stance that there are not even convictions, let's say, for example, you run for office, okay, and you say that you're against gay marriage. Fine, it's your opinion. And then you get found that you like, have sex with a prostitute or gays or other things that may be immoral in your opinion, against your belief, at least against what you say that you believe. I found that hypocritical. Even technically, you're not breaking any laws. I found that something that should be disclosed because it's part of your characteristical behavior. I ask only for truth. I ask only for just to be honest and not to be a hypocrite. That's it. So, but the rest, we know I'm never going to go after personal lives. I'm not going to have any type of personal gossip. This is something that I try to keep always families away from anything, unless there is, of course, a crime or some sort of alleged crime that could be proven. So this is pretty much the story. So all I want saying, it's important. It's important. I think this radio has a very important purpose. I don't always agree, of course, with Mr. Hayes, and that's fine. We respect each other, and I think I really appreciate the opportunity he's been giving me. And I want to give the same opportunity to everybody else, because this is not about Republicans or about libertarians. It's about everybody. Everybody wants to run for office. I would like to give them this opportunity. And I have no any type of personal agenda here. I'm not running for any office, and I don't put any personal friendship before the truth. And many friends of mine, they know that. Sometimes I'm always the first one to bash them. So anyway, ready for hours number 2. I'm going to have a great guest. I'm very excited. Mr. Steven Robinson, all the way from Golden Valley. He drove here. I really appreciate it. And he's a guy that a lot of things that he has to say with us. And of course, most important today, we'll talk about the Golden Valley Fire Department, since he's one of the board members. Okay? So stay tuned, don't go away. And also some interesting news about machine guns with the USDA. Don't go away.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman.
I'm not afraid.
And a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth.
I'm not afraid.
American by choice. Luca Zanna.
I'm not afraid.
And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Luca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
I'm freaking out, man.
Okay, we are back. My guest is here. Let's see if the audio is working. Hey, Steven, are you there?
Hello, I'm here.
Okay, first of all, Steven, introduce yourself. First name and last name, please.
I'm Stephen Robinson.
What is your position, Steven, as an elected official?
I was elected in 2012 to the Golden Valley Fire District Board of Directors, a position I'm proud to hold.
Very good. Does it pay well? What is your salary?
I get paid as high as I can with all the rewards of emotional satisfaction of doing what's best for the taxpayers.
So it's pretty much like flat zero?
Zero.
Wow, that's pretty interesting because you got a lot of stress, I'm telling you. And I know that, there's a lot of people that may agree, also a lot of people don't agree with what you're doing. So it's a lot of emotional drama the last few months at least.
Yes.
And interesting, your paycheck is not that good. Hopefully they give you free meals, anything like that.
I wish, not at all.
Not even that. Okay. So anyway, I'm glad you're here. I really appreciate it, by the way, coming here. Because as I said, the purpose of the show, it is not about to have things that we always agree. It's about things that we can learn from each other. Honestly, I want to learn more. Because I know that with the fire department in Golden Valley, there's been a lot of interesting things happening, like a recall, like people very unhappy, and we need to know what's going on. And this is my only point. I don't have any personal agenda. I like to know facts. And today I would like to address things that I know, because I don't want to start to go into details of things I wasn't there or things that I heard from other people. I would like just to know, as basics, to know exactly how this Golden Valley Fire Department that we are funding as a taxpayer works, where are the people working for us, and who make the decisions, what is the budget, what are the taxes, and other little philosophical things that we may agree or not agree. Before we go ahead, I would like to say again, the first hour we've been talking about, people that everybody comes into the show. As my first duty here as a media is to have the opportunity, especially when you're elected, okay? If you're a personal private person, I couldn't care less. But if you're elected, you work for the public, we need to know things that could be important for the voters to know about you. And as I said, the purpose is not to judge. I'm not here to put you down. I would like to give you a chance, honestly, to get better, to show that, hey, if I made a mistake, I already went through the process. I paid for my whatever mistake I made, and now I'm a better person. I learn from that and move on. And I don't want to be one day addressed like, the National Inquiry. Oh, I found you. I know. No, I already went up front. Whatever, I'm sorry. And guess what? Now the voters have the final opinion about me or decision. Steven, what did you do in your life? Something that you were convicted. I don't want to hear anything about charges, because for me, you're innocent until proven guilty. And I always say that, and I'll defend that position. A mistake, and, without any type of stress,
Sure.
Be open.
Okay. In 1994, I was arrested for a DUI. That's 20 years ago this July.
Okay.
And I went through the diversion process of two brief details.
Okay.
I wasn't even planning to drive that night after that.
Okay.
But my friend said, Steve, let's go into town, get something to eat.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to go the 9 miles in the town, but they said, Steve, we don't want to drive you back here.
Okay.
So I decided that even though I had been drinking, as they had, that I would go ahead and drive into town because I felt like I still had control.
Okay.
One of the person's cousins, or one of the gals that I was with, her boyfriend's uncle was the state policeman. He immediately chased us down from out in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
And pulled me over, even though he had no basis for pulling me over.
Okay.
Because he saw me come out of the bar.
But you were anyway, unfortunately.
I definitely was
Okay.
inebriated. I deserved it.
How old you were? I'm just curious.
20 years ago.
Okay, so now you're like what, 40?
Yeah, I'll take that. I was 20 years younger than I am.
Okay, anyway,
now.
so you are a younger guy. Listen, as I said, we are humans, okay? And all I care that nobody got hurt. And I'm sure, we had a very good legislator, for example, in the past that unfortunately, Trish Grosh, I really like her, by the way. Voting record was pretty good, in my opinion. She went through, unfortunately, the problems, too. And as I said, I almost feel like a Catholic priest now here. We're doing like a confession. First, I want to shake your hand for coming up front in a dignified way. I appreciate that because that's the way I think we should do. You're running for office. If you are in your private life, I would never dare to ask you any personal thing. But when you run for office or for the public tax dollar, I think it's a very simple information to share. And as I said, I'm not passing any judgment. I think the listeners will appreciate the opportunity to say, at least. And by the way, from there, you haven't any problem anymore about drinking?
One time I helped get a state patrolman fired in the state of Washington.
Yeah, but your personal things. You never... So that was your only experience with arrest and conviction, right?
Oh, I was arrested for a DUI that night in October of 2002.
Okay.
And it was dismissed because the state patrolman, a rookie, was fired for false reports.
Okay, interesting. By the way, don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean sometimes there is a lot of power that they have. It's your word against their word. I'm always very concerned about that. Mm-hmm. In this state, they don't even need to prove really that you are intoxicated. They can just feel. There are people. There was a black guy who was in Phoenix a few months ago. That was arrested. He was even drinking at all.
Right.
Okay, and then of course they had to fight in court to prove that. So I'm always try to be, I don't care sometimes, even of course, we try to go through the records, the first thing, but I'm always also open to say, wait a second, the system is not perfect.
Right.
And we know sometimes they can use it also for political agendas or personal agenda.
Very much so.
Okay, so I'm always here and I try to be fair as possible with everybody. So thank you. Let's move on now to real business. And this is pretty much the project I want to start. Every guest I have here running for public office, I don't care we are friend or no friend in their personal life, this is public business, it's my duty. I call it Operation Airing Your Dirty Laundry on the Air. Simple as that. And it's almost, I think it's therapeutic, even me not being a therapist, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Stephen, you serve a little bit, tell me about, you serve as a prison committeeman for the Republican Party since 2005 in 2 states, Mojave County since 2010. Then you've been delegate to state Republican conventions twice. 2012, you tell me, what did you do in 2012? I was so impressed by the leadership of Golden Valley Fire Department. Go ahead, tell me.
Well, what happened, a friend of mine, our friend Louis Tranca, invited me to go to a fire board meeting.
Okay.
I went to the fire board meeting, and I saw what I believe to be a very professional way of managing limited resources to cover a very broad area. Golden Valley Fire District is 220 square miles.
Wow.
It includes... Of all the fire district, it covers the largest sections of highways and freeways. We have State Route 68 going through the valley, we have 93 going up north from Kingman, and we have I-40 going south towards Yucca.
Yes.
And so, because I saw what I believed was protecting the citizens of Golden Valley from unwarranted influence from Kingman and from Mojave County, I decided to run for the fire board, not knowing what chance I had.
Mm-hmm. I'm just curious. First of all, let's remind to the public how many fire board members run in our Golden Valley? How many positions?
We have 5 positions. Every 4 years, 3 get elected, and the other 2 years, coming up 2014, 2 are elected.
Okay. So next election cycle is going to be 2010
or 14, this
14.
current year.
And how many people they are going to run? 3?
2 people.
2 people. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So are you for re-election this year?
Nope. For
Next
2016, I'll be
Got
up for
it. I understand.
re-election.
Now, it's good because this is the purpose. We want to learn exactly also, because people, if they complain, I always say, hey, get involved, run.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's going to be just a waste of time sometimes. Of course, we want also to go there, give our feedback. I always say, as much as I'm vocal, I always say, let's be respectful. You want to use even your First Amendment to the point, that's fine, but respectful, and never try to do anything that is against coercion. Like, for example, I don't believe in violence. I don't believe anything that could be also used as an intimidation. But yes, be vocal. I think it's very important, being vocal as respectful at the same time. Good. Now, 5 people. Who is in charge? So technically, there's a chairman there also?
There is a chairman. Kurt Hardy is our chairman. He's been appointed twice to vacancies. This last time he was voted in after our chairman resigned, Jeff Morcom, to move back to Phoenix. So
okay. And the chairman normally gets pretty much, you guys vote, you have a vote, and you decide who is the chairman, okay?
Right, in the first month of the new season, December,
okay,
is a vote.
Perfect. So what are your powers exactly as a board? I mean, are you the one to decide who hire the hiring process of the chief?
We are responsible for hiring the chief, and the board also has considerable input for the assistant chief who might step in on a moment's notice.
Okay.
Whether due to resignation or death of the chief. So we have a very important part in the determination of those positions.
Perfect. And when it comes down to, let's say, the chief wants, I don't know, I want to have a new toy, I need a new office, or I need a new car. You are in charge there. The buck stops with you.
It does stop with the board as a whole, not any one member,
yes,
but the board as a
board.
whole.
You vote, and of course, and so every type of budget and everything concerning money, you are the final authority. The chief is pretty much just an executive that you work almost like Congress somehow in a small way, and the chief's supposed to be what the president's supposed to be. And of course, not in those days, that's pretty much Hitler, but that's another story. Okay, good, interesting. So I like that, because this is something I wanted to, more important for the listeners to understand how all this works. Now, what I like about you, first of all, I think coming here, and I really appreciate it, explaining yourself, even opening yourself about, as a public figure, things that you may have done as in the past. I give you a lot of credit for that. I think it's really nice, really good. I really have respect for that. And also I have a lot of things that we agree. I know that, we share the same battle sometimes. Most of the time we agree more than we disagree on things.
Yes.
And that's nice. But I want to start to address things that not on the philosophical way, also in practical way, the way maybe sometimes now that you are into this structure called fire board, the fire department board, so I need to look at the actions, okay? Because you're a conservative guy, I know that. You believe in small government, smaller taxation, and that's what I like you on paper. Now, sometimes I see things that, I don't know. For example, let's see one thing I'm sure we agree. You don't support fascism or socialism, but it's not a way of socialism. Fascism was national socialism. For example, that Mussolini called the union between the corporations and government. That's the definition of fascism. You understand that?
I understand it to the point that it's still a matter of government having the ultimate power. They're the ultimate monopoly.
Yes.
They may get into bed with corporations for a symbiotic relationship.
So I know that you don't support that. I know you're a guy that you're against that like me. I support any type of totalitarianism, that is called communist, fascist, socialism. It's just different shades of the same type of agenda. The government, at the end of the day, controls everything. You must go through the government if you want to express whatever you want to do. So I completely like that, because we agree on that. Now, as I said before the show, we're not going to talk about details or drama. I'd like to talk philosophical things. I want to learn one thing. I know that there is a policy in act right now at the fire department that if I'm a business, and correct me if I'm wrong, okay, I want to say it right, that if I'm a business, I want to compete with you for a bid to work with you guys, I need to have at least 50% of my force, of my working force, I need to hire this
Prison labor?
prison labor? Explain to me exactly how it works. I don't want to misspell it. Or
I have not seen personally any written policy in our policy manual or anything. In fact, I'll be honest, I haven't even seen our prison contract.
Okay, that's not good. You should know that stuff. You know that?
That's true.
Because
The thing that I do know is that on that one bid, they had several bids a couple different times before I got on the board. I was not involved in the process for the bidding on this
I understand.
station.
But when you were there, this process was already enacted, right? This fact that the fire department, when you use as contractors, they must use, or at least, I remember there was a meeting, I was there with the chief, that there was a private meeting, and they were telling me about how this works, that must be a part of the labor force. First of all, do you use private population? Jail?
We have a contract with MTC prison.
And what is this prison? Is it a private prison?
It is the Kingman or the Golden Valley prison.
Is it private?
It is a privately owned business.
Okay, so it's a private corporation.
Private corporation.
Okay.
And we signed them up after the 2010 debacle where they had 3 prisoners escape.
Okay.
And their total tax bill would have been $367,000 if they were in the district, but they weren't willing at that point to come into the fire district, and they could not because we didn't have contiguous properties.
So let me explain, because sometimes I'm a little slow on these things. So you, as a fire board member, as a fire board, Golden Valley Fire Board, work with this private corporation that is MTC called, okay?
Yeah.
It's a private jail. And the contract said that you can use their prisoners for some sort of a labor force. Like, I don't know, they need to clean. What do they do normally? Sweep the floor?
Most of the work they do is maintenance of work and cleaning up areas where there might be fire hazards, like around the station. They help keep the station clean.
How much, economically, what type of contract do you have? I mean, these people, they come all the way from prison, and they got their little red or orange jumpsuit. And the prison, what is their benefit, first of all, for the prison? Why do they give you that type of manpower?
They pay us, the full contract is $120,000 in cash they pay us each year, plus $247,000 in-kind labor.
Wait a second. They pay you cash. Does the private prison pay you cash to give you work?
No, they pay us cash for fire protection.
Oh, for fire protection.
That is what this contract is we're providing them fire protection to equivalent in value to what they would pay in property taxes.
So they give you money for fire protection, and you get as a benefit these workers.
No, what we do also is they owe us, we don't put a dime out of pocket. They owe us another $247,000 in in-kind services. There's no money that exchange hands.
Okay, I understand. So now, my only point is this way. I'm sure there are some good economic on paper that could look great. This is the problem. Back to the definition of fascism. You, as the board, you're government, okay? And we have here a private corporation, pretty much, is in completely, I don't want to use the word collusion, but it's a great union, okay? Let's put it this way. This is called corporatism, because you're using, before even we go into the morality of not, also to the safety issue, because I have a little problem there, and we will talk about that.
Okay.
This is exactly the definition of Mussolini for fascism, in my opinion.
I strongly disagree with you.
Good, and that's fine. As I say, we can disagree. There is no problem. But my point is this. Well, first of all, let's look at the fact, okay? Normally, how many workers do you have during the year coming from the jail?
Before I answer that question,
Yes.
because I'm not in charge of operations, that's our chief.
Yes.
But state law requires that for any product or service that we entail, we go to the private sector. We don't do it ourselves. And so when we were to go and get a bid for anybody, that doesn't make it corporatism. It just means we've gone out and got a fair bid. In this case, we signed a contract to provide them a service.
Yeah, but let me tell you, this is not exactly what you call a free market bid. You're talking about a bunch of people that are working for 20 cents an hour, correct?
50 cents is what they get paid.
Wow, okay.
Well, but understand here's the rest of that detail.
Okay.
These are people, they're prisoners, right? Part of their cost of maintenance virtually comes out of tax dollars. Is that not correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so when they earn $3.75 per hour.
Yes. $3.75 an hour?
$3.75 is what we would pay the prison if we did not have this contract to provide us in-kind services.
I understand.
And we then give them, we exchange in value, because we don't pay a dime out.
Okay.
We pay of $375, of which $325 goes to the prison if it was being paid in cash, to cover the costs of upkeep, thus to reduce the cost of taxes
I understand.
to the taxpayer.
I'm sure it's convenience, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to work for $3.50 an hour in this. Not even a slave would do that. Okay,
Right.
So these people are treated like sub-slaves, in my opinion. But more important, look at this. A lot of first of all, I'm a private business. Let's say I wanted to compete with other businesses, and I want to say, okay, I would like to offer a service to the fire department, and how can I compete for $3.50 an hour when I have a business and I want to work with you guys? It's impossible.
I understand that, but on the flip side, we couldn't afford to go out, and there's things that are being done that we couldn't afford to pay for. Now,
Like what? Tell me exactly what you need so bad that we cannot afford, because we're paying a lot of money, by the way.
Well, for instance, cleanup of the Public Safety Training Center, cleaning around there, helping to build. They have built what you call props for helping firefighters with training. If the taxpayers had to pay that additional funds, then we would either do without it and thus have less training, or we'd have less clean
You tell
facilities.
me that as a business, you're a public business, but you still operate as a business, try to keep a budget and all these things, okay?
To keep the budget.
Yeah, I mean,
to reduce the tax
we cannot
burden.
afford even a minimum wage entry-level job like young people or older people that could work for, I don't know, minimum wage. We could not afford that.
Looking at the budget, just for instance, we're going to be talking about taxes in a few minutes.
Yes. I want to be sure we don't forget that. Go ahead.
And my point about the taxes is, you and I did not want to see us go up to $3.25 per hour, the maximum.
Yes.
But that was the difference in taxes was $260,000 from last year till this year.
Okay.
And so we took that hit in not raising the taxes, so that and part of it was because we've been very conscientious with the taxpayers' dollars over the last 4 years.
Now, question I have. Of course, I understand that you save a bunch of money when you got people for $3.25 an hour. I mean, not even a freaking slave would work for that money, okay? Seriously. But regardless. Now, let's move on.
But let me answer one question on that. These are people that are trying to redeem themselves into society.
Okay.
You don't come out of people work in prison too. They do jobs in the prison. I mean, cleanup, washing dishes, cooking, and all that.
I understand.
And they get 50 cents an hour for that.
Fine. But you know what? Honestly, till you don't finish your process of redemption, I don't want you hanging around my yard with your jumpsuit. Because I tell you something, I saw many times I was driving around Golden Valley, I see him with a little suit, and if I am a homeowner, that I see it's a type of activity around my house, I'm sure 99% of these guys, they're trying to redeem themselves. There is always one. If I was a smart crook, let me start to, scout my next hit. So I don't think it's, honestly, as a taxpayer and as a concerned homeowner, especially when I have home invasion going up, we have a really bad crime coming really up in the county. I don't like to have people that they're still in the process of redeeming themselves, going around in public in front of residential homes. I have a problem with that. Before even we go to the morality of this.
Certainly, and which is why, to date, I don't know if there's been any work done at any private home. It's been at the stations. But I'll tell you
in the past they were out. I know that. In the past they've been out.
Okay, I hadn't seen that myself. But I'll tell you what, they're supervised by at least 2 guards.
That's fine.
But I'll go one step further. How many people? There was just a home invasion robbery where a friend of my friend just got shot in the hand. And he, another one, and he had to go up to Vegas by life flight because of the shooting in the hammer or arm. So we have the problem without the...
I know. We don't need extra, honestly, to have put extra people that they're still not completely 100% kosher, okay?
Sure.
And to put them around, roaming around, scouting around, and see, for example, I don't know, me watering the freaking trees, I don't like that, okay?
So you're willing to pay more taxes?
You know what? I'm maybe willing to cut some budget on other expenses. Let's talk about other money. For example, what is the biggest now things that we are paying, okay? For example, I heard about there is a lawsuit around there. Okay, is there a lawsuit?
Not that I know of.
Okay, is there like some sort of legal fees?
Oh, we do have legal fees, but you
this ambulance story I heard. I'm here to try to learn from you. Okay.
Okay. 4 years ago,
Yes.
the board decided to pursue acquiring our own ambulance service, or decided to investigate.
Okay.
One of the things they did in that process was say, okay, what's the interest of the public?
Mm-hmm.
What's the opinion of the public regarding Golden Valley Fire District?
Okay.
So they did a survey of the 6,000 homes, getting a total response of about 5% or 300 homes.
Okay.
And of that, the people that were positive or very positive in their attitude towards the fire district was 96%. And the number of people supporting having the fire district have their own ambulance service, with 3 ambulances at each of the 3 stations.
Who made this survey? What is it? Private company?
There's an independent company. I can get the information.
No problem. I wish I had called too anyway. No biggie.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't around today.
But it was, the point of this survey says, look, right now, the current company that has a 22,000 square mile of CON, which is a process that's pro-monopoly, anti-competitive.
So now we have one, the Golden Valley Fire Department owns one ambulance, right?
Had to make the application. By law, they had to own at least one, and we owned 2 that we got at a steel deal.
Okay, good. So we got 2 good ones. How much was the steel deal? I'm just curious how much they cost.
I've heard, I won't swear to it, was $18,000 a piece.
Wow, that's pretty good, man.
Yeah, they were used,
Okay.
and what you do with, if the body's, the engine and chassis is good, then you replace the
Perfect.
box.
So it's a good, I'm glad that. So it's paid, no payments, no stuff. Great.
Right.
Now, we have already personnel that, of course, everybody's trained. Every fire department, correct me if I'm wrong, they must be trained at least in AMT. I mean, they got basics
They're
down.
either EMTs or paramedics.
Yes, paramedics. So let's say tomorrow I get, sick or something happened, an emergency. You come to my house, okay? You got the ambulance, beautiful ambulance, and you got all the personnel. I jump on the ambulance, you put me there on the bed, and you drive me to the hospital.
Just like happens now with the other company.
That's it. No drama. Do I need to get charged? Do you charge me?
Good question. Let's assume currently in the current situation, the fire district shows up with their trained personnel.
Yes.
They save your life. They get you stable.
How much?
Nothing.
Really?
Yeah. For getting you stabilized.
Okay, but bring me to the hospital. How much? Come on, give me the old. I know that.
Okay,
Last time I talked to the chief, he told me it was about $900.
No. Oh, okay. Wait. Let me stop.
Yes.
Currently, under current situation.
Yes.
You call. We come.
Yes.
We save your life. We get you ready for transport.
Yes.
River Medical then picks you up.
No, forget about them. I don't want to talk to them.
That's the current situation.
I don't want to see them. I want to talk. I already paid the taxes, and I would
You've
like
only
to.
paid the taxes to get you to the point where you're stable. That's all that taxes pay for.
Okay.
They don't pay for transport.
How much gas do you need to go drop me at the hospital? $20?
Well, first off, we're talking about the cost. Now, are you going to argue with what River Medical gets paid?
I don't even want to talk about River Medical. I'm talking about, I don't pay taxes to them, thankfully. It's a private corporation.
Okay, right, I understand, but here's the difference. You're talking about a theoretical situation.
Okay, give me that bill. Okay, you stabilize me on my own property. You put me on the bed. I'm laying in front of my trees. Great. Hey,
you
Steven,
get to the hospital. Yes.
How much will bring me to the hospital before I die?
It's $200. Our maximum amount is $200 less than what
I don't care about the other. Damn it, I'm going to now start to scream. Don't mention anymore.
I don't know how, because I'm not aware of the estimated price is about $900.
You were me in that room. You gave me great pleasure to introduce me to the chief. I was happy to meet him. It was great. And unless you got some problem with dementia, you don't forget. Because he told me in front of me, I'm kind of stupid sometimes. I forget things. He said exactly $200 less than the other one. The other one was about over $1,000, and the fire department says it's about $900.
And I didn't remember him saying that, but I won't dispute it. So $900.
Okay, now you tell me that taxpayer pay. Everything's paid until I am on your bed, on your little bed of this truck in my property, and then $900 to drive me from my own house in Golden Valley to Kingman. That's the cost.
Which is $200 to $500 less than what you're going to pay with a private service.
And I do not care, because maybe I'm going to get my friend drive me in the car before.
Which is an option. In fact,
you know what? But no, the option is this one. Let's use logic, okay?
Okay.
Come on. This is public money. I don't care about a private corporation. They can do whatever they want. They can charge me also $1 million. Doesn't mean I need to go with them. Now, since I'm already paying for us through you guys, I mean, to the service that you offer, I mean,
right.
I found kind of disturbing to think $900 to drive me from my own house. Everything is paid till then, and then I had to pay $900 to go from Golden Valley to Kingman to drop in front of the hospital. That's insane.
Now let me answer this because now you've got me thinking on another situation. You produce a CD. Thank you for
Yes.
Now, that cost of that piece of plastic is about 5 cents.
Yes, I mean, you don't have to buy it. You don't have to buy it.
And people don't have to use the ambulance service.
Guess what? I am freaking paying you already tax dollar.
No, you're paying for the emergency service and the protection against
really?
fires.
Honestly, sound like almost word games, okay? Because I tell you,
well, we don't even have it now.
How do you justify it? Now, forget about the politics, forget about the difference, forget that you work for the board, okay? Just a person, okay? You live in Golden Valley too, okay? I mean, one day, maybe, hopefully, never going to need it, but we all may need this service, okay?
Exactly.
Come on, logic. Let's say our tax dollar justify that we got everything clear. Now, tell me, what type of special magic happens from Route 66 that justify driving for 15 miles this truck, this little...
$200,000 vehicle is the full price to have or $150,000 is the full price to have a fully equipped ambulance.
I understand, but we're just driving it. I mean, already...
wait. The cost of all... In fact, state law requires us to make sure that the cost of the ambulance, the cost of the fire... Or the
we just said we pay $18,000. Now, we already have... The people already paid. The personnel is already paid by the clock. It's not like we had to hire extra... No, it's like they have the extra fee because they're crossing the border to Kingman. No, it's all paid on the payroll. Now,
not the transport. So my question to you, what is a fair price for the transport?
I think that at that point, really, first of all we offer a service. I mean, I pay property taxes, and I'm forced, by the way. If I had choices, I wish I had private business you could compete with. I have no option.
I understand that.
This is monopoly. I am stuck with that. So that's why I'm going through all this drama, honestly. Otherwise, there will be no drama. Right. I don't care if whatever happens because I can pick another company. But since this is my tax dollar, our tax dollar, I think that I'm already being extorted the money against my will. Fine, you got my blood money. Now, I think that since it doesn't really, we already have the structure, we already have the personnel, the training, we already have these ambulances, okay? And it's technically, you said, it's everything paid until you put me lay flat on the bed on my own property and you give me some sort of help, okay, to keep me alive. The really difference in price that we're talking right now is the moment that you leave my property and you do 15 or 14 miles all the way to Kingman, that would be the extra budget that you do not incorporate. And we're talking about not like a couple, maybe $100 or $20 for, I don't know, minor.
It's $38 just for the ambulance supplies for one trip. That's just the cost of ambulance supplies is one trip. That's what the budget amount.
I would like to know, you're an accounting guy, I know that.
Okay.
You need, everything has a cost. I don't want inflated government cost. I want real cost.
I just shared with you what they said.
We go from driving gas. How much gas from, let's say it takes like 30 minutes, okay? 30 minutes, we're going slowly. You should take less. 15 miles drive from Golden Valley to Kingman. What, $20 of gas? $30, $50 of gas, top. We got people working for what? An extra maybe hour, okay? Top. I don't even think that's fair because they already paid anyway. These people, they already paid by the hours, by contract.
So if I understand you right, Luca.
Yes.
You want River Medical to go out of business and that the taxes pay. Wait a moment. You just said you want the cost down. They can't afford to do it for no cost or for just the cost of gas. So if it's one of the others, either we're going to provide the service as a fire district, and we're going to provide it faster and better and more efficiently.
It's
or
my
the
choice.
River Medical.
It's my choice because maybe I can say, you know what, this is what the government offers, and maybe I don't like that much the service, and at that point, I'm ready to spend $1,000 or more because I want River Medical because I know that they perform better. At the same time, as the government already got my money from my tax dollar, I really believe that I shouldn't pay any more extra because there is no justification in this 15 miles trip, and and to put an extra $900 to make not even 20 minutes trip, I think is kind of crazy. But let's move on. Come on.
Okay, let me just
I'll give you the last word. Let's move on to the thing. Come on.
Since it's purely hypothetical at this point, it's like asking the question, how many angels can dance on the head of a pin? Because unless we get the service, then we can debate about prices and how...
No. I don't want to debate about prices because I don't want to be stuck with you and paying $900 to you. At that point, I would like to have a choice to choose.
And you know what?
And I always think I should have a choice to choose anyway.
And I'm not against that, but it's unfortunately the state's policy through through the Arizona Department of Health Services. They're the ones that set up monopolies.
I understand. No, don't get me wrong.
And that's
a lot
the
of
problem.
decision must be also taken in Phoenix. It's not just about you.
It's out of our hands.
But I'm trying to use guys' logics because at the end of the day, you still have power to vote there, and I think we need to try to do the things that should make sense. Because I tell you, forget about politics. $900 to make 15-mile trip. So technically, especially when the people are already on the payroll.
But you don't see what you're saying is you don't want to pay $900, but you're willing to pay $1,000.
No, honestly, I'm willing to pay $1,000 if I want to. With you guys, I'm already paying my dues.
Okay. Since it's hypothetical,
it's hypothetical. I'm already in pain. I'm already getting my tax dollar burn. I would like to use it.
But not for ambulance travel.
Okay, and maybe at that point we need to talk about that because I tell you, since you say, according to your statement, everything is paid. When you're on my property and you stabilize me. That's all included, okay, in my tax. Correct me? Yes or no?
Yes.
Good. Stop.
Okay.
So I'm paid there. Everything is good. Everybody's happy. The budget, you go there and count it good. Everything, we got the money here. You're on my property.
No, it's not good, but we'll go on to that point.
Now, from the moment that you cross my gates and you jump on the 68 and you try to head to Kingman and drop in front of the hospital, it's going to cost $900 to the department. I think this is crazy. Anyway, come on, let's move on.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. And as I said, we don't need to agree. I'm just trying to have exchange of ideas.
It's been great so far.
We want to have at least, for example, we talk about the private system jail. I know that we don't agree there. I think it's corporatism, and you think it's saving money. I think also could be used. I want to also have entry-level jobs, and I would like to compete in the real free market. But that's okay. We move from there. We got the situation about the big drama with this ambulance that I heard the last few months. My ears, they were blowing every time I heard. Anyway, we at least try to learn about that. Now let's talk about this chief. How do you spell his first name? I don't want to distort it.
Apostrophe Donahue. Donahue.
How do you say it? So,
Donahue.
Very good. Chief, I met him. I was pleased to meet him. At least even, I was respectful. I was very thank you for the introduction, okay? Now, when he was hired, when was exactly hired, this guy?
He was hired as assistant chief in April of 2010.
You were already in office there?
No.
So you started in 2012, correct?
Started December 1st.
And when he became the chief?
February of 2011, because the then chief, Paul Hewitt, had come to the district in February of 2011. The board at that time decided to go outside the district to get a chief.
Okay, where is from, this gentleman?
I think he was from Utah.
Okay, good. So he's happy here? Does he like it?
Oh, no, wait. The previous chief, Paul Hewitt, was from Utah.
Okay.
O'Donohue was from Washington State.
So he's happy here? Does he like the weather change?
He loves Golden Valley. He's committed to Golden Valley.
Okay, excellent. So now he's here as our chief, and of course the board appointed him. I need to understand, since we're talking about budget and we are so concerned about, $900 driving from, almost a flight trip. I can go to Italy for less, by the way. It cost me $350 if I get a cheap ticket, okay? To Italy, not to Kingman by bus. Anyway, let's move on. How much cost us every year, the salary, this gentleman?
According to the budget, it's $94,500.
Pretty good job. Not bad.
Well, it's right about the average in Mojave County.
No, I understand. I mean, average, who else are the figure at the same level? For example, county manager?
County manager is $145,000.
Yeah, that's a lot, much more money.
But
who's comparable?
The chief in Kingman,
yes.
The fire chief in Kingman, I think is somewhere between 102 and 108.
No,
so
it's a good job. I mean, I know it's a lot of responsibility.
It is. And I have a hard time as a conservative seeing that the average citizen in Golden Valley, the per capita income is about $17,000.
Yes, very low.
Yeah, but and our firefighters, we try to treat them well. But I have a hard time seeing a firefighter making $60,000 a year when the average income. But if you don't have those quality firefighters that go through all the training and everything, what do you do?
And I understand also, Lista, something I don't want to say. Every job, I think, is respectful. Every job is helpful and needed. I don't have any type of problem. Somebody cleaning I have same respect. Somebody cleaning the bathroom that somebody is doing another job. Okay. At the same time, there is a different risk. I understand also because when you fight every day, that many people don't come back home. So it's part of the game. If you want to get good people and risk in their life, you need to give.
Exactly.
I completely understand. I'm not trying to say, we must be open. I mean, if you want to do it, go do it. Okay. I mean,
right.
I understand that, and that's fine. My only point is this one. you understand that Golden Valley, it is not exactly the richest part of the state. And we have, as you said very well, our budget, the average income, it's very, very low. I mean, it's mostly retired
I know
people.
the numbers very well.
So we must always look this in consideration. This is not even Lake Havasu, Bullhead, or other part of the states, So now, is it true that, 96,000?
94.5.
So it's a good budget. I mean, the guy should be happy. Golden Valley doesn't cost too much, even the rent or property. I mean, it's not like you live in Beverly Hills and there would be no even change for the parking, okay? So my point is this. Did he get an increase as he get in? I know that I heard these voices. He got a little bit
He's
of
not getting an increase.
No, but did he get it, a raise? I know that I heard voices. I want to verify with you that he got a raise pretty much. And please, that's why I'm asking you, because I heard that. I didn't see with my own eyes, but I can find out later.
He got a raise a year ago.
A year ago. After how long he was already?
He'd been here for 3 years at that point.
Okay, how much was this raise? I'm curious.
Went from $90,000 to $94,500.
So like $4,500.
About 5%.
Was it justified? I mean, consider it was already pretty good salary. Consider it's a $4,500 in the big money that we're talking about. Budget is not that much. Okay, it's per change, but
okay, good. Let me answer
Yes.
that question with a little bit of description.
Yes, please.
In 2010, when he arrived,
Yes.
the budgeted tax revenue, because of the extremely high values,
Yes.
inflated values,
Yes.
the tax revenues was $4 million.
Okay.
This current fiscal year that I have the approved budget,
And now I'll let you talk about that. I know
is a $1.5 million.
Wow.
It's a huge drop.
Yes.
After he came on board,
Yes.
he went out and negotiated contracts, not just with MTC, but he negotiated contracts with Nucor, with Unisource or Blackstone Energy, and with Griffith Energy. He acquired $600,000 in out-of-district contracts
Yes.
for fire protection services. Over the 3 years, that's $1.8 million he's brought into the district from his work.
Listen, don't get me wrong. If somebody works hard and let's say brings facts, it's good to have rewards. And I'm not trying to put anybody's down. All I'm trying to say is this: we have the average worker in Golden Valley. That I understand they don't have the responsibility of the chief and not the qualification. But talking about really another world, and not even accounting supervisors, by the way, make that type of money. And we need to watch, at least talk. I'm not even trying to put him down or put you down, but we need to be able to peacefully analyze every penny goes through this process.
I agree.
Because I tell you, $4,000 in this big budget at the end of the year wouldn't be much. Would be a good bonus, though. Don't get me wrong. In the private sector would be a huge bonus. But we need, and if the guy really, you tell me that deserve it, we can talk about it. But at the same time, let's not forget, many people, they're losing their jobs. Many people lost their jobs.
Yes.
And honestly, the last thing, if I was a chief, when especially I know that the average person now is losing their home, a lot of foreclosure in Golden Valley, not only I wouldn't ask for a raise, I would say, maybe I think I should stay put for a while, and I think this extra $400 or $300 a month really doesn't make a change in my life. It's not, and probably not even going to make a change in the district budget, but morally, and more important, even as a PR, because I'm talking about also try to, hey, you live among us, wouldn't look that good, because I tell you.
Well, first, okay, and here's my answer to that. First off, that was last year's decision.
Okay.
This year, the chief, there was talk about giving a chief another $4,500.
Really?
And he said no.
Good. I'm pleased.
He said no. We're not because of the budget situation.
Who came up with this idea? Okay,
I can't remember.
I'd like to know, because I tell you, this is important.
Here's what happened. A year ago, it was talked about giving him a 10% raise because of all the work he had done, going from 90 to 99,000. The board said nope, we're going to only give 4,500.
Okay.
So scuttle from wherever.
Okay.
I don't know who said it or whatever.
But somebody from the board, because they come from the board.
Yeah, obviously we know it wasn't Director Brooks.
Okay, my point is this one, because this is important information, because I'm not coming here with any agenda. Just look at facts. Many things I don't know, I like to learn. But then when I see there is some sort of a mystical, almost like I found very disturbing. When every time we try to ask question, I try to ask question, and not even being critical, I'm just trying to learn even about numbers. There's this sort of a self-defensive, like almost mystical thing that you can out dare you to even talk about what we're talking about here, about money, about this chief, or, for example, I'll give you an example, okay, specifically. I know there was an accident, and I'm glad that was taken care, and you did a very good job there regarding this gun accident with this lady. That remind me, you should remember, there was a lady a few months ago that she walked into the meeting with her handgun on the side, on the holster. Okay.
Yeah, back.
A few months ago, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The point is, you know very well the state laws that the government building in the state of Arizona must comply with the state laws. That means if you don't want somebody walking with a gun, you must provide them a safety box. There was no safety box. I remember, please tell me your story. What exactly happened? You were a witness, by the way, there?
I was there at that meeting, and what had happened was one of our assistant chiefs
Yes.
believed that this lady was acting in a very intimidating, threatening manner.
What did she do exactly?
Look, I didn't...
You didn't hear it. Okay, if you didn't hear it, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
all I want to know. If you were there, that's why I asked you, because I wasn't there.
Right, and I
You repeated what he said. That's fine.
yeah, and it was his determination.
Okay.
He made a mistake in saying that it was against policy.
Okay.
And we dealt with this back then because you were there when
Yes.
we made it clear. No, there is no policy against
Yes.
it because at least 2 board members and spouses of board members carry and pack and come into the meeting.
So I'm glad at least there was a mistake was taken care. The only thing I say, though, because there was some sort of a very strong accusation against this lady, and I'm not saying that couldn't be right. I mean, she was acting supposedly in a threatful way, according to what I heard from this assistant chief. This is what I call everything must be proven by facts. If somebody, let's say in a public meeting, is acting in a dangerous way, it's my duty to call the authorities.
I agree.
I need to put it on records, first of all. It can be just my opinion, must be an investigation. And if this really person could be dangerous, forget about I just told them to go out. She may come back and do something more.
Right.
So honestly, I'm not happy about the way she was handled. Because first of all...
I agree with you. I'm not happy with
No,
it.
first of all, is now so far we don't have any facts. That we have just somebody saying that, according to his opinion, this person was acting in a dangerous way and she has to go leave the meeting. And I'm not saying that could not be true, but at this point, since there was no any type of backup by an investigation from the sheriff, and especially if somebody really dangerous, let's say somebody I see a crime or something could happen, a crime, it's my duty to stop the car in the middle of the car, the driving, and maybe I say 911. I see something that could be very dangerous.
Right.
I want to try to prevent it.
Right.
So this was not handled that good, in my opinion, because it should have been. And I'm not trying to go after the lady. I mean, we don't know the facts. I don't
Right.
know anything. All I knew that if something really was so bad.
And let me make 2 points on that. One, first off, she wasn't told to leave the meeting. She was told to take her gun and put it back in the vehicle. That was the first fact I want to share with you. She was welcomed back into the meeting.
Okay.
And I've already said that it was a misunderstanding by the person of the policy. Second thing.
And he apologized, by the way. I was there
Yes,
the day, and I respect that very much because on top, not only was an apology follow, and that was, I think, the very wise thing to do, and adult things to do. And also, the board finally had to face the situation. You could have made the choice. You had to vote. You could have put expending extra tax dollar to put this safe box, but they would never stop a crazy person. You know what happened at FedEx? And instead, say everybody's respectful and everybody has the Second Amendment. And the moment somebody breaks any type of code, etiquette, or laws, we're going to be deal with that. And I think it was a good thing. I want to give you credit. And I also went public, I also wrote a letter to the editor.
I appreciate that.
And that's why I'm saying I'm trying to be here just sticking to the facts. I don't want to put anybody down. At the same time, I want to say to the lady, for the lady side, before somebody is saying to her, hey, you were acting in a dangerous way, and I call that a very serious accusation and
Yes,
allegation.
I do.
You better have facts to back it up. Because the fact you didn't call the sheriff maybe wasn't that serious. Because
And here's the second statement I was going to make about that incident.
Yes.
During a brief break in the meeting,
yes.
this lady, the assistant chief, and one of the board members was outside. And this lady, whether she was serious or not, she said, I had to go get my gun and shoot you, to the board member.
That would be enough for me, to go to jail. I mean, seriously. I mean, if I say something like that,
I agree with that, but
that's it.
But the board members chose to defuse the situation.
And can I say something? Honestly, no, there's shame on that. Because that's, if something happened, let's say that person was seriously a bad person. Let's say, first of all, it really happened. I don't know, I wasn't there. But let's say, if I hear something like that, unless you're cracking a joke, and I still don't like that type of jokes, I would say stop.
Totally. I agree with you.
Stop. But as a board member, you're not just an idiot, you're an elected person. You have the duty, the responsibility to try to prevent anything like that. And you have to do nothing else than just say 911, we have to talk a little bit with this person. Then you let the professional, the sheriff, deputy, investigate and say everything's fine or not.
Well,
that
would have been the right way to handle it officially.
But we live and learn, as I'm saying. I hope never is going to happen like this.
Me too.
And I'm glad anyway we have at least. Oh my God! What the heck?
We had fun.
Oh, I cannot believe it. We have another minute. Come on, give me you want to know some numbers. Give me some numbers out. Come on.
We're going to start this year with 2.2 million.
You have 60 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay, we're going to start this year with 2.2 million.
Okay.
At the very best, we're going to finish, based upon projection, with no changes in revenues, we're going to finish with only 600,000 in reserves at the end of 3 fiscal years. We are in a world of hurt where we have to get rid of employees, or we have to find other revenue sources. In other words, bring other parts of the valley into the district.
Maybe we can cut some cost. Forget about, I'm sure there are... we need to come back.
80% of the cost is labor.
Today was an introduction, okay?
Yes, we'll come back.
And I think we need to go next time more into details and things that I want to see really exactly how we spend our money, how much costs the toilet, how much costs the bottle of water there, and all these little things. It all adds up, okay?
Yes, it does.
How much costs the car of the chief, by the way? I mean, the chief, I'm sure, has a car.
He has had it for 3 years.
Okay, what type of car does he have?
A Dodge Durango.
Beautiful. I saw it nice. And wow, how much cost that?
I wasn't there when it was purchased.
Anyway,
34 to 35,000.
Beautiful cars. I mean, we need to look at everything. I'm not trying to go.
Yes.
In a budget, you start from small things and you go up and you cut corners, and then we can find out. No more taxes, Stephen Robinson, please. I will go to your meeting next time, okay?
I'll hold you to that.
And by the way, I appreciate the fact that you were able to work it out and to stop the sort of declaration of war that the chief was saying when he said, we're going to increase taxes to the maximum. Good job on that one. I'm glad you got the number down, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Steven. Thank you for coming, man. Bye.